Coming up next is CFFC 66, rolls along inside the Borgata in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It'll be heavyweights. It'll be Shawn taking on Jashua Marsh. Welcome back to CFFC 66. We are coming at you from the Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa in Atlantic City, New Jersey, alongside Brian Palico on Rich Quinones as we get set for our next fight of the evening. We got the big boys, we got the heavyweights, Jashua Marsh taking on Shawn.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. You know, both these guys, highly talented prospects in the heavyweight division. Marsh, 2-2, but a dangerous fellow, packs a big right hand. Going against the submission expert Teed, which you don't see as many submissions in the heavyweight class. I think Teed's prepared coming off that loss to the champ on Yanwu, but nonetheless, man, this is going to be a great fight because he's going to have to get him to the ground, and Jashua Marsh has worked very diligently on the takedown defense. So great fight here at the Borgata. The big boys are always exciting. Can't close your eyes for a second because it can end quick.
And before signing on with CFFC, Marsh was current V3 heavyweight champion. Started career, Brian, as a light heavyweight. Lost his first 2 fights. Since moving to heavyweight, he is undefeated. He's a very good wrestler, NAIA national champ at 197 pounds back in 2012. Also trained with a very familiar fighter, Chris Weidman.
Weidman's maybe one of the best in the world. Very happy to see him get on. There's another example of a guy who can lose 2 or 3 in a row and is one of the best in the world. So it's unbelievable. And one of the things is some of these guys who are at light heavyweight, it's a speed factor. In the heavyweight division, everything gets slowed down a bit, and that's why you see the heavyweight champs in the UFC, 230, 235, Stipe. It's a lot of speed, so if you can't handle the speed, but you want to work on the power, heavyweight is really a better division, in my opinion, for a lot of guys. And I think that's an example here for Marsh, but certainly the guy coming in now, Shawn, he's more of a natural heavyweight.
And we've seen him before. We saw him last time out taking on Zuan Yanwu, and that was his first loss of his career. He wanted that fight. You give him credit where credit is due. I think he learned a ton from that fight, and it's interesting because you go back and you watch that fight, you can make the case he got gassed a little early. I think at times a little sloppy. I think was able to regroup after round number 1, but then I'm not going to say lost focus. I just think he ran into a buzzsaw in Yanwu, and he was able to overwhelm him in round number 2. But I can tell you right now, he's a young kid, and there's a lot of high hope for this kid going forward.
Yeah, well, Yanwu obviously certainly represents CFFC very well, coming off a huge win at the highest level. So, that's a tough opponent for Teed, a younger guy, coming in. And he answered the call. He went right in there and took it to Zoo and showed a lot of heart. But the difference between Shawn and a lot of other guys in this weight class is he loves the ground game. He prefers the ground game. He wants this fight on the ground where he has proven to pull off submissions that very few, maybe even no other heavyweights ever have. And that is not something you see. You see a lot of the heavyweights, they want to control it. They want a big right hand. They want a big knockout. It's just the nature of the game. But Teed is a different style fighter in that he can throw, but he wants to get the ground position, even guard. Now, guard as a heavyweight, it's unheard of because you're on their back, and he throws submissions there. So he's an exciting, dynamic. He's different. He really is different in the way that he approached the fight game. And I think tonight's going to be a great test to see if he can pull off another submission.
And one little side note, this is the first time he's fighting after coming off a loss. As a pro or an amateur, tail of the tape, Ryan.
Look at both. Both guys are pushing the upper limit of the heavyweight. Age is the same. Height's, the Teed's always going to be a little bit taller, if you will. Experience-wise, about the same, but Teed may have the edge there. But hey, we're ready for a big one tonight.
So the official introduction is back up top to Dr. David Sarnoff.
Tonight, the next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the CFFC heavyweight division. This bout has been brought to us by Cage Fury Fighting Championships and is sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. Now, standing to my right, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 262.2 pounds, fighting for Long Island MMA out of Brentwood, New York, Jashua Shrubmaster Marsh. Now, standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 259.2 pounds, fighting for Ricardo Almeida, BJJ, NCMMA, and Dante Rivera, BJJ, out of West Hampton, New Jersey, Shawn. A referee in charge of the action once the bell rings, Bill Bookwalter.
So we've got heavyweights, we got the big boys, we got Marsh, we got Teed, Bill Bookwater in charge of the chaos in the cage, slated for 3 5s. Teed in the camouflage trunks, Marsh in the red trunks. Don't blink. Do not blink.
Yeah, watch out for the early onslaught here of punches. This is a good matchup size-wise, though. You know, both guys really about the same. Because obviously at heavyweight, they can be all over the place. So
Teed tipped the scales at 259, Marsh at 262.
yeah, Marsh came in heavier than him, which is surprising. But he's thick. A nice left hand there.
Think about this. He was national champ at 197. That was 5 years ago in college, 2012. So do the math. Put on
Yeah, I
about
mean, I've
70
seen that
pounds.
happen. I've seen that happen, you know, to the guys. And that's the whole weight cut after. And there he goes right into that double, turns the corner nice. But Teed's okay with this. You know, Teed's going to be okay with this position. Teed threw some bombs there, and, you know, immediately the takedown reaction. But it's going to be an interesting chess match here to see how Marsh reacts to being in the guard of Teed. And I like the idea of throwing the bombs. You know, consistent pressure. This is where Teed's going to like it, though. Don't give him an arm. You can't give him a limb. That's dangerous. So.
We mentioned the wrestling pedigree in the background of Marsh. National champ, as we talked about, 197, wanted to go to the Olympics. 4-time All-American national champ from Midland University. It didn't pan out, and he just decided, all right, let me make that easy transition, right?
But it's amazing
from wrestling to MMA.
When you see the guys at that weight, you know, 197. Once you take that, having to make that weight away, you know, you creep on 8 to 10 a year. It can happen, and he still looks very fit. You know, he's a solid heavyweight. He's certainly. You know, not a guy that looks to be out of shape in any way. So
he had some really fast knockouts as an amateur, a lot of quick stoppages. Then he realized not every fight's going to be like that. Not every fight's going to be easy. And conversely, Teed with the T-lock, we saw it 3 out of his first 4 fights as a pro, Brian.
Yeah, and it was, and he got it from guard. He's pulled out that submission many times, but a lot of the guys are getting hip to it now. You know, so it's not going to be as much of a secret. So we're going to have to see how he can pull that off. But again, Shawn Teed is a guy who is happy to be on his back. You know, he can threaten from there. But, Rich, if he doesn't advance, he's not going to win the fight. You know, so you can't just stay back there. He's going to have to get busy and pull something off here.
Marsh felt going into this fight that his wrestling and his striking are going to favor him.
Yep, and so far he's right, because he threw some big hands and he got that double. Teed's got to move here. You know, this is not exactly what he wants to do. He's going to want to be a little more active, even from guard. So
now he's got a great shot by the crew. Seeing how clean that
Ooh,
cut
that
is.
was,
yeah.
but is that an elbow?
That's right above. It's above the eye. There's no danger of it near the eye, but yet still, there's some blood there. Could be a nasty cut going forward. 3 minutes into this, round number 1. Marsh has fought 3 times in the past 3 months. Talk about activity.
I was unaware of that, Rich. It's a nice stand up there. Nice stand up there. Now that's going to be interesting. He's going to have to get busy here. Marsh is an interesting fighter. You know, he's kind of does a lot. He ate a right hand there. Teed hit him with a nice right hand.
Oh, another right by Teed.
And right in for the takedown.
And an elbow. I'm sorry, and a knee. Pardon me, Brian.
Teed's got that reach, body kick there. And that's what Marsh needs to do, is go in and out. When I say in and out, I mean throw your punches, then lock up.
Yes.
Heavyweight's a little bit different, not always the fan favorite. Throw your strikes, lock up, disengage, re-engage. That's how you win this fight. It's all up to clock management and then get your strikes. You can't just stand. And that's what Teed likes, that hang-on takedown. It's going to be tough for him at the hips of Marsh to get that. That's what he likes.
He's very strong.
Now, Teed's very happy with this. Very happy with this. This is what Shawn wanted. How's that cut looking?
It's not as bad as at first glance. But again, it's not near the eye. I'm sure we'll get a closer look at it. And I don't know if it was an elbow or not, but you know this as a fighter. Sometimes that blood can incite you a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think it
Sometimes you
did.
can fire
I think
up
it
your
did.
opponent.
I think it did fire him up. Now, nice job there by Marsh to just simply move his leg to take out the boots. The boots is a slang for putting in the legs there of Teed. But Teed is doing a good job of riding from side, but he's not doing enough damage here. in short time. Now, if you're looking at the clock, you know you might not be able to get that submission, but do some hammer fist damage. He's trying to maybe lock up a submission, but if the time's not there, you still want to score some points.
Closing in on 1 in the books. Again, this is slated for 3 rounds. Interesting round number 1 between Teed and Marsh. Teed really trying to get that nasty taste of that loss to Onyanwu out of his mouth. He came in very confident in that one. I thought he did well. Listen, I thought he did well that opening round, and then got a little overwhelmed,
that
right?
was talked about,
but was able to handle the adversity. And we'll see now with this cut if he can handle the adversity again this evening.
First time he's been cut like that, I think. As we take a look here, you know, the strikes there, Marsh just blasts double. That's that linebacker double, and he does it as good as anybody. Turned the corner away from his head, did everything right there, and then landed some big punches. And I don't know that Teed's been hit like that from that position, but then Teed said, hey, you know what, I trained too, I'm ready to go, and threw some good strikes, landed some good punches, and then the nice takedown there, you know, dump, if you will, a little slip, and Teed held that position for the end, so he got some points back there, but I would give the round absolutely to Marsh.
And I'm trying to get a closer look at that cut and how they're working on it. Corner's doing a good job cleaning it up, but it does not seem to appear that it's
not in the eye.
It's not in the eye, which is good. Which is good.
It's on the side, but nonetheless,
it
shows you that Marsh
it's also. What does it also do if you're Marsh? Gives you a little target practice.
Yeah. That's close enough. So interesting round 2.
We'll see if Marsh tries to pepper him a little bit or get it down to the ground and work a little ground and pound.
Marsh looking light on his feet. Yeah. He's going to have to put that back. Do some good strikes. And Marsh going to be good with that body lock. Throwing some knees against the thighs there. And what Marsh can do is swipe that leg out. Man, this is exactly what I was saying. He can look to sweep that leg out as both guys come right in front of us and get that takedown.
I'm sure those foot stomps would be annoying too at 262 pounds. Just raining down on your
feet. Won't feel good. There's my favorite takedown right there to the single. Beautiful. Beautiful single and in the side control. And the more I see this.
Well, he's trying to open up a little bit.
Looking at the crucifix here. The Roy Nelson kind of made that famous.
And you've said this a ton of times throughout the years. Those little shots, those little haymakers, especially when you have a cut, they're just annoying.
They are, and they're absolutely scoring points. So it looks like Teed is kind of being pushed out of his comfort zone here, you know, against a guy who's a really good wrestler and got decent striking. So he's going to have to dig deep to kind of, you know, I think a big part of fighting, Rich, is now that's nice by Shawn Teed. That's a real nice job. Changing up the pace there is lulling a fighter into a friendly pace and then changing that pace. You know, hey, we're going to throw nice 1-2 back and forth, and then you change it up. Now Shawn Teed is now this could be big.
Sure.
And if Marsh is gassed,
then Teed can just tee off on him.
The referee is telling Marsh he needs to get up, and he is not moving.
Now, you know what, Bookwalter, if I'm Teed, I continuously rain down some of those blows. Bookwalter's about to step in, and that's it. Shawn Teed.
I am shocked. I am shocked.
I'll tell you this, he overcame adversity, and I don't know if he wore out Marsh or if Marsh just gassed all of a sudden. Because if you look at the way he fought in round number 1.
It's just unbelievable. It goes to show you that, you know, I mean, Teed dealt with the adversity. It's funny, we were saying he's going to have to change things up a little bit and do it. He dealt with the adversity, and he came back and did a great job. But I hate to say it, Rich, but Marsh kind of quit a little bit. You know, I mean, he did. He kind of just was there, and maybe he's tired, maybe he's injured, but, you know, he looked to me to be doing great things. He fought a great first round, a great beginning of the second round, and then gave up position to Shawn Teed. But I didn't have 259 pounds of Shawn Teed on top of me, so I'll say, you know, maybe it's just too much.
He needed to rebound, and he did in style. We'll step aside. We'll get the official time in the stoppage when we return. More CFFC 66 right after this. Welcome back, everyone. Good stoppage, good win for Shawn Teed. Let's make it official. Back up top to our ring announcer, Dr. David Sarnoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout was stopped at 2 minutes and 1 second in the second round. Winner by referee stoppage by way of the TKO.
out of the red corner, Shawn T.
So Shawn T rebounds nicely after the loss against Anyanwu, gets the win tonight.
Shawn,
back up to Paul Felder.
Over here, buddy. Don't. Come over here. Come over here. You're a big guy. I don't want you to start attacking me here. Well, Shawn, first of all, congratulations. You know, you're coming off your first loss, you know, fighting for the title. And here you come in, you get a nice TKO win. How's that feel?
The jiu-jitsu guy got some hands now. Better be worried.
That is the first thing that we were talking about when we were cage side, actually, is when you came out, you were ripping combos. You look good on the feet. You know, maybe next time we'll see a knockout in there.
Yeah, thanks to this guy, it's on boxing. Anthony, he's fantastic. I changed him for this camp. Awesome.
Well, you look great, bud. Let's take a look at the finish here. I'm sure that's what we'll be taking a look at. And maybe you can talk us through some highlights here.
Yeah, he was definitely way off balance right there. Just drove him to the side. I think that punch hurt him a little bit. And then he just went here, and he was not getting out from that position. So I just, you know, punched the shit out of him. Sorry.
Well, I mean, when a guy your size, with your skill level, especially on the mat, when you get on top and you start pounding punches, man, you're going to get the takedown. Anything you want to say to your fans, man? I know you got a good fan base, too.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Everybody. I love all you guys, all my coaches, Corey Anderson, Carl Roberson, Nick Catone, Ricardo Almeida, Anthony, my dad, my family. You know, thank you guys for supporting me after coming off a loss. It means so much. I love all of you guys with all of my heart. Thank you.
Shawn T, ladies and gentlemen.
So there you have it. We talk about young fighters overcoming adversity. That's exactly what he did his last fight, and he did it in round number 1 after he absorbed the cut. So a big win for Shawn T. Gives him a lot of momentum and confidence going forward.
Yeah, and Paul Felder thanking him for the sweat hug that he gave him on the suit, but nonetheless, taking a look at T. I mean, right here, you know, I mean, really, the hips of T just too heavy for Marsh. He had no answer, and the referee is telling Marsh, hey, you got to move, you got to turn over. At that point, I would even give up my back, but, you know, he had no answer for T. Big win, and likable guy, Shawn T. Happy to see him get on that track, Rich.
Yeah, it's an impressive performance by the young man. He'll improve to 4-1, rebounded nicely after his first career loss.